Hello everyone and welcome to our next maths lesson looking at multiplying two-digit numbers by one-digit numbers. So you'll spot that our words of the day here are times tables. That is because we're going to be using our times tables to help us with our multiplication, and we've been working on those quite a lot. So our warm-up questions for today are using our calculation skills. So I'd like you to pause the video and have a go at these questions. And then when you restart it, I'll let you know what the answers were and you can check. Okay, so the first question was 7,584 plus 84,739. We're going to see what the answer to that is on the next page. And the second question was 29,475 minus 4,938. So let's have a look at the answers. The answer to number one, say that answer out loud to yourself, was 92,323. And the answer to number two, if you say that out loud to yourself, was 24,537. So well done if you got those correct. If you didn't, just have a look at your working and see if you can figure out where you went wrong. Okay, so a lot of studies have shown that if you improve your working memory, which is how many things you can remember without having to look them up, it will massively improve your maths skills. So we're going to play a memory game here where I'm going to show you a series of pictures for 1 minute. And then I'm going to take that picture away and give you 1 minute to write down as many of those pictures that you can remember. And then I'm going to show you the picture again and you can see how many you have remembered. So by playing games like this, it will help improve your working memory and help improve your maths skills by increasing the amount of things that you can remember. Okay, so I'm going to put my timer on when I show you the picture. Ready, steady, 1 minute from now. So some people might make a list of these in their head. You can't write them down. Some people might try and create a story linking all of these different things. So how can you remind yourself what they are? So you've got just under 30 seconds left to try and memorize these by looking at them. 15 seconds. Three, two, one. Okay, so you have a minute to write down as many of those things as you can. I'll give you some clues as well in a few seconds. So whilst you're writing those down, you might think, were there any living things or things that were attached to living things? Was there any types of transport or travel? Was there any food? Was there any technology? So you've got 20 seconds left to write down as many things as you can remember from that picture. 10, 5. Okay, so stop writing those things now. I'm going to put the picture back up and you can check how many you got correct. So just have a look at that picture, compare it to your list, see how many you got. I believe there are 20 items on there. Yep, there's 20 items on there altogether. So how many did you get out of 20? We'll do another one of these later in the week. Okay, moving on to today's lesson. These are our 4 recap questions, looking at things we've already done. So you've got to do 3 times 20. This is a part-whole model, so we're adding. So you're partitioning between your 1s and your 10s here. So what's going to go in this box? 20 10s can be exchanged for how many hundreds? and 27 tens can be exchanged for how many hundreds and how many tens. So just pause the video, complete those questions, and then start the video again so I can go through the answers with you. Okay, so number one is 3 times 20. To make that a bit easier, I would do 3 times 2 times 10, or 3 times 10 times 2 to get the answer, 60. The next one is a parts whole model where we partitioned it, so split it into its ones and tens. It's only a 2-digit number, so we've split already the ones over here, 4 ones. This means that this must be 90. So 20 tens can be exchanged for how many hundreds? There are 2 hundreds. You have 20 tens because 20 times 10 is 200. 27 tens can be exchanged for how many hundreds and how many tens? So you would have 2 hundreds there because 20 times 10 is 200, and you would have 7 tens because 7 times 10 is 70. Okay, we're going to start looking at our multiplication now. Like we always do, we're going to look at it in different ways. We're going to go right back to how you started doing multiplication, and then we're going to move on to how we do multiplication in year 5. But you might like to use some of the old methods to just help you to understand the new ones. So we're going to look at 3 times 27. We're going to look at it a few different ways today. So 3 times 27. So there's a number of different ways of doing this. You could do 27, add 27, add 27. You could do 3, add 3, add 3, add 3, add 3, but you're going to have to do that 27 times. That would take a very long time. So another way you can do it is to represent it with manipulatives, which are things you can move around. So here we've used counters, and you can show we've got 3 lines of 27, so 2 tens, 7 ones, 3 times. And if we count them up, we can see what our total is. So here we have 10 ones. What we're going to do with our 10 ones, we're going to exchange them to create 10. And then we have another 10 ones there, so we're going to exchange them to make another 10. And we're going to get the answer 81. Okay, now we've got 3 times 42. We're using our manipulatives here, our place value counters again. So we've got 3 lots of 42. You can see here there's only 6 ones, so you do not need to do any exchanges. So you're going to have 6 ones. And then here, we're going to have to do some exchanging because we have 12 tens there. So we're going to have to exchange 10 of our tens for 100. Because remember that maximum digit you can have in each of those columns is 9 before you then have to exchange it over. So our answer is going to be 126. Okay, we're going to look at 3 times 27 again. So that's the way we did it before. This time we're going to look at it in the expanded multiplication method. So this is just to help us understand the next step, and this is what some of you will be used to doing or were used to doing in the past. So we've got 27 times 3, so we've made sure we put those in the correct place value columns. We've got our 1s and we've got our 10s. And we've partitioned 27 into our 10s and our 1s there, which is what we've done here. So the first thing you have to do is you times your 1s column together. So we're doing 3 times 7, or 7 times 3, and we know that is 21 from knowing our times tables, or if we want to go back to this, counting our counters. So 3 times 7 is 21. Showing the exchange process there again. Then we have to do our tens column. So this, then this. So now we're doing 20 lots of 3. 20 times 3 or 3 times 20. So we're counting those 3 lots of 20 there. We're going to see that we've got 60. Then what we have to do is we have to take these 2 numbers here and add them together, where we will get 81. Okay, let's move on to next question. So we've got 4 times 35. So we're going to look at this just for the expanded method. So we have partitioned our 35. So we've got our 10s and our 1s. So we've got 30 and we have 5. And we've laid it out like we did before. And then first of all, we're going to do our 4 times 5 or 5 times 4. And we know that that is 20 because we know our 5 times tables and we know our 4s. And the next step is doing 30 times 4, which we know is 120. So if you did 3 times 4, that'd be 12, but then you've got to times it by 10 because that's in the tens column. So 3 times 4 is 12, times 10 again is 120, and then you remember that's not the end, you need to add these ones here together to get the answer 140. Okay, let's look at another one with expanded method. So we have 3 times 68. Just think how you're going to do that. You need to partition it into your tens and your ones, and then what the first step you're going to do is the ones. So you're going to have to do 8 times 3, or if you prefer, you can do 3 times 8. Because remember, multiplication is commutative, which means it doesn't matter what order you do that in. It's always going to be the same answer. You can change that around if you want to. So 3 times 8, or 8 times 3, 8, 16, 24. Then the next one, we're going to have to do our tens, which is 60 times 3, or 6 times 3 times 10. So 6 times 3 is 6, 12, 18. Then we times our 18 by 10. So if I write my 18 down there, if I'm timesing it by 10, I know it moves over one place value column. So my tens go to my hundreds, my ones go to my tens, and I end up with 180. Then what do? We add those together. So we've got 4 and nothing is 4. 20 add 80 is 100. So you'll end up exchanging that there. And then 100 add 100 is 200. So we're going to get 204 for that question. Okay, so once again, like we did last time, if you would like to, you can pause the video now and do questions 1 and 2 on the worksheet if you'd like a little break from watching the video. If not, you can just carry on watching the video lesson and then get on with all of the questions at once at the end. So I'm going to carry on. So we're going to look at 3 times 27 again, because we've looked at that in numerous different ways now, but this is the method we're going to use going forward. So this is just showing you again how you can do it with your place value counters, but this is the method we're going to use. So this is short multiplication, the non-expanded method. So we don't have the extra rows down here where you separate your timesing the ones column and the tens column. We're going to do it all together at once. Because once you come to long multiplication, if you use the expanded method, you end up adding loads of numbers together, and it's really easy to make a mistake. So we need to move down to this shortened method. So it's exactly the same questions. We just have to do a bit of exchanging. So we know the first thing we have to do is 3 times 7. And we know, we just flash up that again and do our exchanging. So we've got 10 ones and then 10 ones again. So we get 2 tens from that. So we know that 7 times 3 is 2 tens and 1 1. So that's going to be 21. So the 1 goes straight into the ones column because we finished with our ones column here. We've done that. We can give that a little tip. We've done that. However, we haven't done the tens column yet. So that 2, the 2 tens from the 21 is going to go under there. And then we're going to bring it in when we've done our next calculation, which is 3 times 20. We can look there, we've got our 3 times 20, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tens, which is 60. And then you need to add in the 2 tens that you've exchanged over. So 60 and 20 is 80. So the answer, once again, 3 times 27 in another way of looking at it is 81. Okay, so our next question is a new question, and this is 6 times 87. So we're going to look at it in the same way, but without our manipulatives here, I believe. So we have partitioned it into our tens and our ones, our 87. So we've got 80, which is these, and then 7, which is here. So first of all, we're going to do our 6 times 7. So we're going to do our ones first. And we know 7 times 6 or 6 times 7 is 42. So the 2 is going to go into the ones column because we have finished the ones, and the 4 has to go underneath. The 4 for the 40, the tens column, because 4 tens, 40 is worth 4 tens, because we haven't used this digit in the tens column yet, so we can't put it straight in. We just need to put it underneath and then bring it in at the end. The next question is 6 times 80, or 6 times 8 times 10, which is 48 tens. So you could say 8 tens times 6, which is 48 tens. And then we need to bring in the 4 tens as well. So 480 add 40, or 48 tens add 4 tens, which is 52 tens. So the 2 goes in the tens column and the 5 goes in the hundreds column. So the answer is 522. Okay, let's look at another one together. So we have 7 times 28. So we know, looking at our 7 times tables or our 8 times tables, whatever we prefer, that 7 times 8 is 56. So we can put our 6 into our ones column. Tell yourself why you can't put the 5 straight into the tens column. Because we haven't used this digit here yet, so that 5 needs to go underneath. Tell yourself the next thing you need to do. Yeah, we need to do our 7 times 20, or 7 times 2 tens, which is 14 tens, or 140, depending on which way you like to think about it. Then we need to bring in our 5 tens that we've exchanged over from our first question. So 14 tens add 5 tens is 19 tens. And we can put the 1 underneath, or because we haven't got anything in the hundreds column to do, we can put it straight in, and we get the answer 196. Okay, so this question is very, very similar. However, it's written as a word problem. So we need to pick out the key information here to work out what we have to do. So in a supermarket, there are 75 egg boxes. Each box contains 6 eggs. How many eggs are there in the supermarket? So we're going to pick out the key information. So there's a box which contains 6 eggs, and there are 75 of those egg boxes. So what we need to do is 75 boxes times 6 eggs, because we're going to have 75 lots of 6. So we're going to do 75 times 6. So we know, tell yourself where we start. What's the calculation you're going to do first? Work it out in your head. So we need to do our ones first. So 6 times 5, or 6 times 5 ones, is 30. So you get 0 in the ones and 3 underneath the tens, because 30 has 3 tens. Tell yourself the next thing you need to do. We need to do 6 times 70, or 6 times 7 tens, and then we'll bring these 3 tens in at the end. We know from our 7 and 6 times tables that 6 times 7 is 42. So 6 times 7 tens is 42 tens, plus 3 tens is 51 tens, which is 510. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing there. 6 times 7 tens is 42 tens, plus 3 tens is 45 tens. So we're going to get 450 all together. Wonder if you spotted my mistake before I did. Okay, so we have looked at a few different methods for multiplying today, and we're going to continue to work on those for the rest of the week. So you can choose which one you use. We're going to aim to use this last method moving forward. So try and use the short multiplication method you can, but you can use the other methods that we did at the beginning of the lesson to support you if you need that extra bit of help by looking at those different methods. That's absolutely fine. So your activities have been uploaded to Teams and Tapestry. So I look forward to seeing how you do and look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.